I'd like to give a quick shout out to Mitch Gittleman from HBS. What do you think about this now, huh, buddy? 4 mechs, is that all you got? Oh, we can do more, much more, sir. I'd like to give a quick shout out again to Mitch. Great guy. Thank you for giving us a shout out for this project. We're humbled that you take notice. And if anything, we hope to bring something that's enjoyable of an experience that you brought to all of us many, many years ago. So thank you. And we look forward to raising the bar. But here's to more mechs, more mayhem, more metal. All right, hey, what's going on, guys? Phil here, and we have a Mechcommander Mercenaries update, version 1.2. This is actually a big deal, and the first feature, major feature this has is Commander Mason now has a stunt double pilot that isn't derpy. You heard me, Mason is at least fixed for right now. What does this mean? This is a temporary workaround until PGI gets to the next editor update, which will allow us to do the an actual fix. Mason's mech is removed and respawned with a stunt double AI pilot in the beginning of the mission. So what you just saw there, this isn't Mason. There's no name here. You saw that also it didn't necessarily drop from the dropship or walk out from the dropship properly. That's known. Sometimes they get stuck, so just sort of keep that in mind. You may have to hit F6 to hop in the cockpit, move around yourself, and activate that, then hit F6 again. If you didn't know about that feature, now you do. Another thing is Mason may not trigger objectives or extract correctly, so use another pilot with an actual name, and that shouldn't be an issue. And then Mason will not appear at the end of mission screen, but he will still take damage. You will still have to repair it. But of course, Mason won't be killed or anything, so you don't have to worry about it because he's not here. Also, another negative is Mason does not gain experience, but I think the majority of you don't care because now you'll have a working 4th mech. So that is one of the major features. The next major feature we're going to talk about is the reinforcement menu. This is actually something that we rushed ahead a little bit ahead of schedule and was going to be for phase 2, but we felt it was pretty important to bring in. Now, why and what is a reinforcement? Reinforcement is just like what it sounds like, is you being able to bring in reinforcements that you own, which is your mechs, your assets, to the missions. Now, keep in mind, we have a Leopard dropship that only can carry 4 at a time, so keeping with lore, that's what we're doing. Now, how do you activate and how does it work? Well, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to hit R. R is going to bring up your reserves here. Now, these are all mechs that we own, and there will be more if you own more. But what we're going to do is we're going to bring in the heavy boys, the big boys. We're going to bring in all 4 of these mechs, and we're going to hit deploy. So what's going to happen is, of course, this is unfinished, but we just figured we'd get it in at least right now. Dropship will pick up the location near Mason's drop off selected mechs. And of course, the where they drop it off may not be in direct like path. It may not be right here, but we're going to go ahead and demonstrate how this works. Hit R again, get rid of that menu. We're going to look around. We heard the dropship. Here it comes. Okay, so here's our reinforcements. And you can also see that the secondary group that was just dropped, this is the control group, is now Bravo. And if we click those, Bravo is selected right here. I'm going to go ahead and move one of these at a time because sometimes you can see they act a little bit derpy. We're working on it. It's something that we're quite aware of. He's struggling there. All right, don't worry. They'll get past it. We're just going to tell them to move over here. They'll move.
Cockpit, stay pressurized.
We got to have them facing the other direction, and that should solve that. But all right, so that is that. Now, you may be asking, well, is that all it can do? Well, that's a pretty big thing. You just doubled your forces, and on some of these missions where you take a lot of damage, now you have the ability to bring in. Now, these are all AI, random AI personas. They are not your pilots. That is to come later. But for right now, we figured it was pretty important to be able to get enough tonnage and firepower out there to offset the balance issues that it brings with the current vanilla system. And of course, with Reloaded, if you're using Reloaded, which we highly recommend from Navid, it adds a layer of difficulty because he brings a lot of custom mechs and setups. Now, these are all your mechs. They're going to take damage. You will have to pay for that, so it is a trade-off. As of right now, we don't have any cost for bringing in reinforcements, but that is totally up to you. And of course, we have more mechs, so we're going to go ahead and bring in another In the future, you may see a countdown timer for this. It may be a repair cost, but for right now, we wanted the function in instead of worrying about any of that. So now we have our other 3 mechs. We have a total of all of our assets here. Now, I will stress this, if you're new to this mod, hitting spacebar to slow down your movements is going to dramatically help you to negate friendly fire. With this amount of units on the battlefield, friendly fire can become a problem. So make sure to utilize that spacebar. Keep your assets from shooting each other in the back. That is something we are, of course, working on or are going to look at in the future. But so that covers the reinforcements, which is huge. So let's go ahead and showcase some other stuff. We have some quality of life updates for you as well. Q now selects your default 4 Lance members, or if whoever you brought in first. So Q is that. We now have E selects all available units on your screen. So that's regardless if it's behind or anything. Now E. So if I only select here, you can see it only selected what we have. We have special control grouping. The starting lance is now assigned to, of course, Alpha. Reinforcements automatically are assigned to control groups Bravo, Charlie, etc. Special control groups don't have key bindings other than Q for Alpha Lance at this point in time. Clicking on a control group icon selects that control group, and then double clicking on it will bring you and pan your camera to a random member of the team. And what we can do, we're also going to look at maybe color coordinating the icons as well, and that's something as well. So you can have Alpha's blue, Bravo's green, and then maybe Charlie's like a orange or something like that. I'd like to give a quick shout out to Mitch Gittleman from HBS. What do you think about this now, huh, buddy? 4 mechs, is that all you got? Oh, we can do more, much more, sir. I'd like to give a quick shout out again to Mitch. Great guy. Thank you for giving us a shout out for this project. We're humbled that you would take notice, and if anything, we hope to bring something that's enjoyable of an experience that you brought to all of us many years ago. So thank you, and we look forward to raising the bar. But here's to more mechs, more mayhem, more metal. All right, another big feature we'd like to introduce is force move. One of the issues we ran into is how do you make a mech when walk into something when behind the scenes they're trying to avoid. And one of those things that we all know from default is mechs running into buildings. So as you can see here, I'm going to tell this Battle Master to move to the other side. Now it does a really good job on avoiding obstacles, and the reason for that is you don't want them destroying base assets that you're wanting to defend, right? That's one of the critiques that we had from the base game. Now, to offset that, what happens if you have a demolition mission and you need to destroy something? Well, now we have force move, and that is Alt and then right click. So what we're going to do is I'm going to tell this guy to Alt right click. I'm only going to do it once. You can see he's going straight towards the target, and we just ran over building. So he's going to knock into that. Let's say this is the target building. I'm going to go ahead and click on this corner, Alt, left Alt, and right click, and he's going to go ahead and start demoing. And of course, wherever you click, he will then go. So we don't have a waypoint system just yet, but so it's whatever direction. So I'm going to click again. He's going to run over that. So there we have the demolition ability now for you. So if you have a demo mission, you can run a light in there. Of course, if it is a demo target, of course, they can't walk through a solid building there, so just sort of keep in mind. They will, if they hit a core of a building, they cannot walk through that. So again, just to sort of demonstrate the Alt left click, Alt right click, here we go. He's going to walk through all of these. And we can do the exact same. Tell him to move over here, and Alt left right click, and he'll walk through these. So hopefully that helps you guys when it comes to some of the demolish missions, and we'll be expanding on that as we go, especially with maybe a force attack as well. Speaking of, right-clicking on buildings, raid contracts should cause the selected unit to target them. Obviously, this isn't the case. This isn't a raid building. This is assassination, but let's go ahead and demonstrate really quickly what happens when you have a company of battle mechs engage a Shadowhawk. Let's go ahead and see it from his perspective of what that means.
scopes that can be identified as our targets. We'll have to move on to the next nav point.
Next on the list of features is AI Lancemates will now spend idle time looking around trying to find combat targets. So keep in mind, if you tell an unit to go somewhere, if there's any type of combat around them, they will try to find that, engage, and that's something that we'll continually monitor. Now, there are some bug fixes in the patch as well, and of course these are available on Nexus, or if you're using the Epic Game Store updater. This automatically updates, by the way. If you're using EGS, I would probably recommend using that. It's so easy. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is download it once, and you don't have to worry about it again. It's a pretty cool system, so check that out. You already have the game if you're using Epic, so check out their the Epic Game Store. Speaking of the bug fixes, we have right-clicking on a turret or tank weapon should now cause the owning model to be selected as a target for selected units. Mousing over a turret weapon does not show red mouse cursor. That was an issue that we were having. Right-clicking a friendly unit should trigger the guard command more successfully. This was actually broken, unfortunately, by something that was with the recent game patch. And the guard behavior may still have a few bugs. So what we can do here is we're gonna select all these mechs, and we're gonna tell them to guard the Atlas. Let's see if we can demonstrate this live. Last time we had a problem where the mechs would just start walking in circle. As you can see here, they start looking and they'll start hurting. And so we got the Atlas here, and it looks like it is beautiful. We got a Congo line going here, and of course this is right click. When you've got a unit, just right click on the next unit. You can see the little guard command. And the cool thing with this is this allows you to you can only, you only have to worry about one. Let's just do a force move through here. And again, left alt, right click, and now this is just him. He's gonna move. You can see they're actually doing a pretty good job of avoiding buildings. And again, that's the AI behavior that PGI was introducing. Now we had a little bit of hits, but as you can see, they're going through that entire base. So that's a really good thing. Some other known issues: AI may have some issues wandering around or ignoring move orders to attack a target. That again is something that we will dive into at a later point in time. It needs further testing, as it may be due to interactions with other mods as well. We don't recommend using any other AI mods because it may affect that. And Reloaded has a few alterations, but just sort of keep that in mind. And player spawns in random locations on the dropship after missions. This seems to do with Mason's stunt double. But in my opinion, it sort of works because you no longer spawn down in the mech bay. You spawn up where like Rihanna is in that area. So as you can see here, we had a little bit of a pile up with this many mechs. It's like all of your buddies just want to like follow the leader here. It's so cute. Obviously, he's probably dead if they shoot through his back. But guys, that is it for Mechcommander Mercenaries version 1.2 patch is out. So if you use Nexus, make sure to go download the update and get it in instantly. I think you guys are going to like the feature. Again, these are your assets. If they take damage, you have to repair them. If you have just keep in mind, we still have friendly fire in. That is something we're going to look at. We're also going to look at possibly formations. We don't know if formations will solve the issues. We don't know if friendly fire can be turned off easily, and maybe it can be reduced, but maybe formations will solve this. And of course, some AI behavior, we're going to look into it because it can be very, very detrimental to gameplay, but it's something that it is on our to-do list. But anyways, we wanted to get this out here. Reinforcements, check it out, version 1.2. And we look forward to seeing what you guys think. Let us know, comments, and of course check out the Reddit. Leave information if you run into anything. Of course, let us know. But let's go dispatch of this Centurion before we get off here. Guys, this is another update. Let us know what you guys think. We'll see you on the next video. Until next time.
yourself.
That's your waypoint.
Watch out! That thing is going critical!
Tango down.
We've got our main guy. Good job.